Hey guys, welcome back. And today I'm so excited. It's a new series and it's all about finishes. And listen, finishes are tricky and a lot of people get them wrong, even professionals. So I'm going to give you all the details starting today with tile. So today's episode is tile. Ooh, one of my favorites. But what do we mean when we say tile for interiors? Well, we're gonna have to go on a history lesson for that. Tile is actually the oldest man-made material that we use in interiors. Archaeologists have found evidence of tile as early as the 13th century BC in Mesopotamia. That is so cool to me. I mean, look at these tiles that they have found. They're amazing. And it didn't stop there. Let me tell you, the ancient Egyptians, they had tons of stone around, and so you can still see their old floors. The Greeks and Romans weren't going to get left out. They started doing things with terracotta, the stone mosaics that you can see in places like Pompeii. Fabulous. Medieval Europe brought in encaustic tiles, which are tiles that have clay colored all the way through instead of just a glaze on the top. And then of course, the blue and white Delft tile from the Dutch Golden Age in the 1600s. Oh my God, that's still kind of an it thing today. We're still using this stuff. So how do we use tile in interiors today? It's almost hard to know where to start. I mean, you've got things like terracotta, finished and unfinished. I love both. Ceramics, glazed and unglazed, both are great. Porcelains, ooh, one of my favorite subcategories. They're amazing. They can look like so many different things. Stone, of course, and stone mosaics. That's also still being used very beautifully. Glass and recycled glass. Metal. Oh, this is kind of a new thing, but you can use it on vertical surfaces and it looks groovy. And even cement, which is, oops, my favorite. Now, for those of you who are looking for a unique cement tile, which it's actually not very easy to find, I have to tell you about this brand that I absolutely adore. And we're lucky enough to have them sponsor this video. Their name is Lily Tile. Boom. Here's their logo, and I'm gonna fill you in more about them later in the video. Now, I wanna make it simple for you guys, so I want to explain how designers make tile selections so you guys know how to do it yourself. There's a couple of crucial decisions that you need to make. The first one being, where do you need it? It could be tubs, tiles, it's your entry floor, maybe it's your entire first floor of your house. It could be all over. Pools, maybe you even have some outdoor areas that you want to go with tile. So you need to think about where you need it first. Next, you want to consider what your traffic level is going to be. Now, if it's in a main entry hall, that's going to get a lot of foot traffic, as opposed to say something like the backsplash in a guest bathroom, which is going to get almost nothing. The third thing that you want to think about is your budget for either the area that you're redoing or, of course, the whole space that's going to get tile. And you need to think about it both from the material standpoint and from the cost of installation, also very important to include. Now, the last thing that you want to consider is what type of tile expresses your design style statement. And I'm going to show you all about how to determine that at the end of the video. So when you're looking at choosing tile for any installation, walls, floors, anything, you have two choices here. You need to make a decision about what the main area of tile will be, and that would be called your field tile. And then the secondary area, if you're going to add an accent, would be your secondary or accent tile. When you're looking at your budget, here's the key. Because the most material that you need to purchase is for your field area or the big expanse. So that's where you want to kind of look at options that maybe are a little bit softer on the budget, and then you can spring a little bit more for some of the accent tile. And that's a way professionals like myself kind of make the budget move and flow so that we get the look that we want with maybe a little bit of luxe or a little bit of a major statement, but it's only done in a smaller area. So it's a good tip to remember. Typically for my projects, my go-to for field tile solutions is either porcelains or natural stone if the budget allows, either way. Let me tell you why I love porcelains. Porcelain is so super durable. It's easy to install, which actually can save you money in installation and labor costs. It's virtually waterproof, so if you needed to use it in a super wet area like showers and shower floors, absolutely no problem. And it comes in this huge variety of styles. Oh my gosh, this can look everything like woods. You can do stone. Of course, it can look like stone at kind of half the cost. You can do metal. I love this porcelain tile that I've done a lot on some fireplaces and in some specialty areas. And it looks like cold rolled steel. It's amazing. You can even get porcelains that look like cements or plaster finishes, or even other types of tile like cement tile. Now, natural stone is also a great solution for field tile because it's extremely durable, but it is considerably pricier. So I tend to like it a little bit more for maybe accent areas, but it comes in a huge variety of looks and style statements. Everything from like tumbled limestone if you're doing something kind of transitional or traditional and you want that softer look, or maybe a travertine. Travertines are great. Marble. Who doesn't love marble? Absolutely. There's also things like slate and bluestone. And then of course there's the stone mosaics, which work really well if you're, say, doing a bathroom area and you need that slip coefficient to be super tight. Then cutting that stone up into small pieces like they do for mosaics gives you that extra grit underfoot, which is really useful. So pro tip, guys, if you're doing a tile floor, I don't care where, bathrooms, your main entry hall, skip the polished finish. I know, it's beautiful, but the reality of it is anybody in wet feet, just not a good solution. There's lots of great ones out there. You can do a matte finish, you can do a honed, flamed, leathered. There's all kinds of finishes out there that you can use when you're working on the floor. Now, if you're working on a field tile on the wall, make it mirror, it doesn't matter. But you really want to have a little bit of safety underfoot when you're doing the field tile selection for your floor. Now let's talk about accent tiles, because they're kind of the jewelry of the tile world, so to speak. And you really want to make a couple of choices here. You definitely want to choose a tile that references your style and can also create maybe a focal point. Like this is a beautiful image tile that's done in this bathroom, or I love this idea of the fish scale done in the glass inset into a regular blue tile in a shower. That's beautiful. Or even this black and white one where the field color is the white and then the accents are the little black squares in between. Those are all great and groovy solutions and obviously speak to the style that they're stating there. So one of my go-tos for accent tiles is actually cement tile. And now I want to tell you a little bit about lily tile because they rock this category. It's amazing what they have. They have some of the most stunning stuff. And when I told them that we were going to do this video, they sent me a bunch of things and oh my God, I thought I was gonna weep. Let me show you. So their line is huge. You can do any style of design with this product. That's one of the things I love. For instance, if you're doing something rather transitional or traditional, oh my gosh, this thing is so beautiful. They even offer custom, although I don't think you'd ever need to. And if you look at a good cement tile, you can see on the edge that there's a full 3/8 of an inch of color all the way down. That's one of the reasons these products are so unbelievably durable and last forever and look great, because they're built to do that. They have groovy hexagons. Oh my gosh. If you look at this photo, this is a project that I did with one of them. And you know, they're just great looking in a field, or you can use them as accents. It doesn't matter, vertical or horizontal. Ooh, this is a sweet little one too. This is a smaller hexagon. So glamorous. Oh, I just want to tile the front of somebody's bar with it right now. And here's a third hexagon that I just drooled over the minute I opened the box. The thing that notice about cement tiles is that they have this very sort of smooth, kind of waxed finish. It's not shiny. It has a bit of a matte look to it, which is very sort of restrained and important. Now, if you're doing more contemporary spaces, I thought I was going to cry when I saw this gorgeous black one with the dragonfly. or just the black one with the inset rectangle in the middle. Solids in the terrazzo, note the little bit of a fleck of shell in it. Groovy mid-century modern look. I love this simple star, that's fabulous. Even this cerulean blue with like a twinkle star in it. So I love cement tiles, if you can't tell. And Lily is now my go-to for them because they just have such a huge range to select from. I don't really need another option. But there's a couple of other reasons. I love that all their tiles are handmade, a completely green production line. And then the third thing is I've had great experiences working with their team, and they've delivered when they need to. They're just great. I can't recommend them highly enough. So be sure and check them out in the links below. So now with all of these choices, how in the world do you go about making selections that will reflect your design style? Well, here's a couple of pointers. If you're looking for something traditional, you're gonna typically want products that are smaller scale in the tile. You can use stone, like you see here in this backsplash, porcelains that look like stone, of course, terracotta, that's very big for traditional. Glazed ceramics, also very big for traditional. Think those blue Delft tiles from the 1600s, those are gorgeous. And of course, the pattern tiles like I showed you in Lily Tiles collection, or you can do stone mosaics. There's all kinds of options here that really can reflect and make a strong traditional statement because tile and traditional go hand in hand. Perhaps you're looking for something a little bit more transitional. Then you're going to look for small or large. You can do both scales, that's not a problem. Again, you can use stones or porcelains that look like stone. Terracotta, again, but you might want to think about keeping it super clean as opposed to having it really look super aged. Glazed ceramics, again, some pattern tiles, but you may want to limit their use. Maybe you want to do them just in a powder room, or maybe you want to do just a single inset above a cooktop, or something simple with it. And then of course with transitional, you want to have a more muted color palette and maybe a little bit of a calmer option on some of your patterns. Now, if you're contemporary, things switch up a little bit. You often want large scale field tiles for contemporary. I frequently do 36 by 48s because you want to make it long and sleek and like it's just one big slab of material. So stones, natural stones are good. Porcelains are even better because porcelains can be fired at super large materials, so that's great. And they mimic other materials, which is often great. So I love this one tile that they've just done. It looks just like a black solid floor. Ooh, that's amazing. You can also get them to look like cement. That's a very groovy look. Wood and stone, naturally you can do in contemporary spaces. You can do them textured or plain. I like this little kind of combination. It's a monotone, but it's all the same tile, just cut up into smaller pieces and then done in larger pieces as well. That's a very groovy contemporary look. Again, you want to stick to neutral colorways with that. Maybe a single tone for the field. If you're doing an accent, often the accent matches or is even simple, like this one huge fireplace. I just love that vertical installation of a stone-like porcelain that's over that fireplace. That's amazing looking. So one last detail when we're talking about tile installations and tile selections is you need to be mindful of your grouts. And let's understand how grouts impact your overall choice. So if you look at a traditional space, typically the grout is either a light color or a cement tone, and or it matches the field color of the tile so that it's meant to blend in and sort of not take away from the importance of the tile. However, when you start to move into transitional and contemporary, you can start to play with the color. For instance, here's a perfect example. This bathroom has a white chevron pattern to it, and they've chosen to do a black grout in there, which really accentuates it, but it also breaks up the pattern a little bit. So always think about how can your grout line be the most blended with the field so that you get the least amount of pattern unless, and the exception is this, you want an entire wall of, say, all one color of Subway, and then you're gonna do an accent grout there. Then that's fine, and that makes a great transitional statement. Now, with contemporary, kill it back altogether. You want almost no grout line. Think about 1/16 of an inch. You can badger your tile installer to get that thin. It takes a bit of a comment, but you can. And that way it makes all of the materials look uniform and monolithic, which is what you're looking for when you're doing a contemporary tile installation. So now we've covered one of my favorite materials, which is tile, and you've gotten kind of the basics on it. So I want to say thank you so much to Lily Tile for being with us in this video. And they're just great, guys. You've got to definitely check them out down below. And if you're doing any work on your house this year, you want to make sure you check out these videos. And I'll see you next week.